Let's turn from there to those who are returning back home. Remember, India has begun last night one of its biggest ever repatriation exercises to bring back citizens stranded abroad since the Gulf War. So far, 4 flights carrying more than 750 Indians have arrived in the country. On Friday, 2 Air India flights carrying over 400 Indians landed in Delhi and Srinagar from Singapore and Dhaka. Let's take a look at Vande Bharat, the big mission.
Mission Vande Bharat kicks off. Stranded Indians across the globe are being brought back in the biggest such exercise since the Gulf War. The first flight carrying 181 people landed in Kochi at 9:45 p.m. on Thursday. In the first 2 days, aircrafts are bringing people from the Gulf, Singapore and Bangladesh.
I'm really very glad and thanking Indian Consulate for giving me a chance. And for the India government, already 34 weeks, I lost my job, and if I'm staying here, it was very difficult for me.
We are very thankful to our government also, High Commission Dhaka, and as well as our Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, who arranged such a special flight for we stranded students.
The incoming passengers are being medically screened first and then taken to government facilities where they will be kept under isolation for 14 days. Some states like Kerala are permitting returnees to pick between government facilities and private ones.
Really proud to be a part of this mission. It's a privilege to be of service for the nation in times of need. I thank Air India Express for giving me this opportunity.
The Indian Navy has also begun Operation Samudra Setu. 3 warships are bringing back nearly 2,000 Indians stranded in the Maldives and the UAE.
इंडियन एम्बेसी का बहुत अच्छा काम करते हैं वो लोग। ऐसा इतना आदमी को देके उसका अभी लेके जाने का सबका बीमार वाला ऐसा वाला है और बहुत अच्छा काम करते हैं। एम्बेसी के लिए हमारे बहुत प्यार करते हैं।
Now I am happy that I can send my wife during this pregnancy time. She is very happy to care the supporters who have helped me.
Stranded Indian students are concerned. Many feel they are low on government's priority.
Our family is also worried about us, and we are also not feeling safe here because the death rate here in UK is quite high.
Death rate is so high here in UK, and even me and my parents are not feeling good that I'm here. So that's why they are just telling me to come back.
In this first phase of evacuation, 64 flights will bring Indians from 12 countries. Over 1 week, nearly 15,000 Indians stranded in different parts of the world will also be brought home soon. With Lovina Tandon in London, Bureau Report, India Today.
Now remember, students across the world, Indian students, almost 87,000 of them are still stranded. Are they a priority or not? Nupur Patel is a student joining me from Singapore. Sudhanshu Kaushik is Director, Indian Students Association in the United States. I want to come to you both. First, you, Sudhanshu, give us a sense of what is the situation on the ground. There are students who are writing into me saying that they still haven't got on a flight. How bad is it? Are they in line? Have they registered?
Look, the situation is troubling and worrisome. So I speak from a perspective of a grassroots in a country that's not only the epicenter, but also boasts the largest student demographics studying abroad.
Yes.
And, you know, the evacuation and the situation right now, even though Indian diplomats are working extensively around the clock, it's just too little and too late. And too late because it's been 6 weeks, Rajdeep, 6 weeks since the lockdown took place, since students were displaced from their universities, from their housing, and too little because let's do the math, right? Passenger commercial jets that are coming in, 250 to 300 per plane. That's 7 flights that are scheduled. Let's say 2,000 people. The government statistics themselves say 300,000 Indian students study abroad. 300,000. Let's say 50%, 60%. I'll give you 75% of people have been able to go back home or find an accommodation. That still leaves us with 75,000 Indian students studying here in the United States. What about them? And, you know...
Nupur Patel, you're in Singapore. What's been your problem? You couldn't get on that flight, presumably that came in from Singapore. Are you hopeful of getting onto a flight sooner rather than later? What's the situation in Singapore?
So Rajdeep, Singapore being a smaller country and not many Indians to repatriate, I think there are around 3,000 Indians. A few of my friends were on the flight today to Delhi from Singapore, and a lot of us are hopeful that we will be there in the subsequent flights. And the High Commission in Singapore is giving high priority to students, and thankfully the High Commission has been very supportive of all of us.
So you're hopeful on getting back on a flight. Now, where do you live, Nupur? In Ahmedabad?
I'm from Gujarat, so there was a flight to Ahmedabad, but it was cancelled overnight. And now we are hoping to get on flights, either the Bombay flight or the Delhi flight, but we do not know how we are going to reach home after reaching Bombay or Delhi.
So your worry is that you will get to a Bombay or Delhi, and then the worry is how do you get to your hometown in Gujarat? Am I correct?
The first worry is that the quarantine, so we are going to be asked to do a 14-day quarantine in a hotel, and that's going to be very expensive. People are paying anywhere between 3,000 to 5,000 a night. So calculate that into 14 days, and after that we'll be shipped, we'll be transported to our homes. We don't know how.
You know, so there are various concerns that obviously the students have. Sudhanshu, in a way, have the embassy authorities been cooperative? Have they been understanding?
Look, I can't blame the embassy or the consulates. We've been in direct touch with the consulate of New York and different consulates around the country trying to mediate between students. But again, Rajdeep, it's the scale, it's the size. The States is obviously the epicenter, but so many Indian students are here and they're being overwhelmed. Every day we're getting calls saying the consulate, you know, their voicemail is full. We can't get in touch, basic questions that need to be answered that students just don't have access to. And that, I think, is a secondary concern. The primary objective right now is to make sure that these people, these students have immediate relief. Rajdeep, I've shared photos all over. There are students that are living in garages, open door garages, because they have been kicked out. And we're not, you know, one thing that we're falling prey to is generalization. We expect people that study in the United States to be well off, but statistics show that India has the highest scholarship recipient amounts of anyone studying in the United States. People here are on scholarship money too. And we also have to consider J1 student visa holders, those that come here on minimum paying jobs that are sponsored by the company. Those jobs are gone, right? So now you have a very, very high standard, like a high expense rate with no jobs. What are they going to do?
Very quickly, Sangeeta, have you spoken to your mother? Your family in Ahmedabad or wherever in Gujarat, have you told them, don't worry, flight cancelled, I'm back on my way soon? When's your next flight? Which flight are you booked on?
So I hope to go back in the flight to Bombay, which is on Sunday. And I have informed my parents, and there is a huge sigh of relief that's coming from all of them for sure. And so there's one thing that I would like to say here, that from the moment that the High Commission has received any information from the government, they've been very proactive in making sure the arrangements are in place. But the problem is that things came very late from the central government, and the High Commission did not hear for a long time from the government, and because of that we were stranded here for over 45 days.
Let's leave it there. I hope sooner rather than later all the students who want to come back can finally come home. I can imagine what it is like for many of them. Thank you both very much for joining us and giving us a sense of how students are simply waiting to get back home. All the very best to both of you.
Hi everyone, Preeti Chaudhary here. Hope you like this video. For latest news and analysis, like and subscribe to the India Today YouTube channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated. Thank you for watching.